Little did she know predictability was about to shatter. She slapped the snooze button. Just 5 more minutes. 5 minutes of blissful ignorance. The city hummed outside her window, a distant familiar drone, but something felt different, a quiet hum beneath the usual. She finally dragged herself from bed. The floorboards were cold beneath her feet. A shiver traced its way up her spine. Not from the cold, though, more like a premonition, a tiny, nagging feeling she couldn't quite place. She dismissed it. Nerves, perhaps. Just another Tuesday. She padded to the kitchen. The ritual began. Kettle on, click, whistle. The comforting sounds of morning. Toast in, pop, scrape of the butter knife. The smell of coffee, rich and dark. All so normal, all so terribly, wonderfully mundane. Her phone lay on the counter. Silent for now. She glanced at it. No new messages overnight, just the usual clutter of app updates. A few early work emails already demanding attention. She sighed. The daily grind. As she reached for the door handle, her phone buzzed. A sharp, insistent vibration against her palm. She frowned. A new voicemail. That was unusual. Most people texted these days, or sent a frantic email. Voicemails felt archaic, almost ominous. Who would leave a voicemail at this hour? Her boss, perhaps? Chasing that report she'd nearly finished, she almost ignored it. Almost, but a strange compulsion made her pause. Her hand hovered over the screen, a flicker of something she couldn't name. She tapped the notification. The voicemail icon glowed. And then she saw the number, her own number, displayed clear as day. Her heart gave a queer little jump. That wasn't right. That couldn't be right. How could she receive a voicemail from herself? It had to be a mistake, a system glitch, a network error. Surely. Her mind scrambled for a logical explanation. With a deep breath, she pressed play. Her finger hesitated for a fraction of a second. Then, contact. The speaker crackled, a burst of static, like a radio searching for a lost signal. Then, silence. A heavy, pregnant pause. Her ears strained. Was it a blank message? A cruel joke? And then it came. A voice, a whisper at first, frail, broken, and terrifyingly, undeniably her own voice, yet not. It was laced with a terror she had never known, raw, desperate. "Ilara!" the voice rasped. Her name, spoken with such urgency, such fear. "Ilara, listen to me, please. You have to listen." The connection crackled again, interference distorting the sound. But the words were clear, chillingly clear. "Don't go to work today. Whatever you do, don't go to work. Stay home, please. I'm begging you, don't go." The voice broke on a sob, a sound of pure, unadulterated panic. Then a click. The message ended. Silence descended once more. But this silence was different. It was heavy, suffocating. The phone slipped from her numb fingers. It clattered onto the hallway table. She stared at it, as if it were a venomous snake. Her own voice, warning her, pleading with her. But how? How was this possible? It sounded like her, exactly like her. Her brain, usually so adept at finding patterns, at imposing order, was in chaos. It struggled to process the impossible. A prank. It had to be a prank. A very sophisticated, very cruel prank. But who? Who would go to such lengths? And how could they spoof her number so perfectly? And her voice. It wasn't just an imitation. It her voice, every inflection, every nuance, every tremor of fear. She paced the small hallway, back and forth. Trapped, not by walls, but by an impossible reality. Could it be some new technology? Advanced voice cloning, deep fake audio? She'd read articles about such things. Artificial intelligence getting cleverer by the day, creating convincing fakes. But to target her, a nobody, an ordinary office worker, it didn't make sense. There was no motive, no reason, unless it wasn't a prank, unless it was something else, something she couldn't even begin to label. Her scientific, logical mind rebelled against such thoughts. There had to be an explanation, a rational, earthly explanation. She tried calling her own number, just to see. Her finger fumbled on the keypad. The call connected, straight to her voicemail greeting. Section 5. A leap of unfaith, trusting the unseen. She glanced at the clock on the wall. 8:15 a.m. She was already late. Her boss, Mr. Henderson, would be apoplectic. He didn't tolerate lateness, not even for a genuine emergency. And I got a scary voicemail from myself wasn't exactly a textbook excuse. He'd probably laugh, or fire her. but the words from the voicemail echoed relentlessly in her mind. "Don't go to work. Please, I'm begging you." The desperation, the sheer terror. It was a powerful counter-argument to her fear of Mr. Henderson's wrath. A memory surfaced, a flashback years ago. She was about to cross a road. A sudden, inexplicable urge to wait, just a few seconds. She'd hesitated. Then, a speeding car ran the red light, exactly where she would have been. A near miss, a gut feeling that had saved her. She'd never understood it, but she'd never forgotten it either. This felt like that. Section 6. The unthinkable unfolds, a prophecy fulfilled. The hours crawled by. Each tick of the clock seemed amplified in the oppressive silence of her flat. She paced, from the window to the sofa, from the kitchen to the hallway, a caged animal, jumpy at every creak of the floorboards, every distant siren. She tried to read. The words blurred on the page. She tried to watch television. The cheerful inanity of daytime TV felt like an insult. Her mind was a whirlwind of anxiety and doubt. Had she been a fool? Had she overreacted to a clever hoax? The uncertainty was torture. Then it happened. Around lunchtime. A newsflash interrupted the scheduled program. We interrupt this broadcast for urgent breaking news. The familiar, ominous tone. Her attention snapped to the screen. An incident in the city centre. Details were still coming in, but the initial reports mentioned a major structural failure, a building collapse, near her office. Her blood turned to ice, her breath caught in her throat. No, it couldn't be. It was too specific, too coincidental. This wasn't happening. The news anchor, grave-faced, continued. Live footage appeared on screen. Chaos, dust, smoke billowing into the sky. Sirens wailed, a symphony of disaster. And then she saw it. Section 7. Echoes of what if, the weight of survival. A profound numbness settled over her, followed by a violent tremor that shook her entire body. Shock, pure, unadulterated shock. Her legs felt like jelly. She remained on the floor, staring blankly at the television screen. The images of destruction replayed, the dust, the debris, the frantic efforts of emergency services, and the stark, undeniable truth. Her building was gone. The place she had been heading to just hours before. The place she would have been, if not for that voice. If she had gone to work, if she had dismissed the warning as nonsense, if she had prioritized her job over that inexplicable fear, she would be there now, underneath that mountain of concrete and steel. The thought was a physical blow. It knocked the air from her lungs. She imagined the scene, the noise, the terror, the end, and then the overwhelming, crushing realization of her escape. She was alive, spared, by a miracle she couldn't understand. Tears began to stream down her face, hot, silent tears of shock, grief, and a terrifying, unearned relief. The relief was a strange, sharp thing. It pierced through the horror. Section 8. The burden of foreknowledge, a glimpse beyond. The phone. It lay on the coffee table, a dark, silent rectangle. It looked so ordinary, so innocuous, yet it had been the conduit, the oracle, the bearer of an impossible truth. She stared at it, a mixture of fear and awe swirling within her. That small device had saved her life. It had delivered a message from... when? From where? The questions were a relentless torment. Was it her own future self, somehow reaching back through time? A desperate act to prevent her own demise? The very idea made her head spin. Or was it something else? A different timeline, perhaps? A parallel universe where another Ilara had faced that horrific fate, and somehow her warning had bled through the fabric of reality. The possibilities were endless, each one more fantastical, more terrifying than the last. She felt a profound sense of dislocation, as if the world she knew had tilted on its axis. She was no longer just Ilara, the office worker. She was Ilara, the woman who had cheated death, the woman who had heard her own ghost. A chilling thought occurred to her. Was this a one-time event, a freak occurrence, or was her life now different? Had she been touched by something, marked by it? Would there be more messages, more warnings? Section 9. The unanswered call, living with the enigma. Days bled into a surreal week. The news channels were saturated with coverage of the building collapse. Investigations were launched, the mundane explanations for an extraordinary tragedy. But for Ilara, The real explanation remained locked in that single chilling voicemail, an explanation no one else would ever comprehend. She watched the reports, a strange detachment settling over her. She was an outsider looking in, a survivor with an impossible secret. She listened to the voicemail again and again. Her own voice, a spectral echo, filled the quiet room. "Don't go to work today." Each time she heard it, a fresh wave of chills washed over her. The terror in that voice was a constant reminder of the fate she had narrowly escaped. It was a ghost in her phone, a ghost of a self that might have been, or perhaps a self from a future that had already happened. The paradox of it all made her head ache. There were no easy answers, only more questions. She was safe, physically unharmed, but she was irrevocably changed. How could she return to her old life, to the mundane routines, to the predictable cycle? Knowing what she knew now, or rather, knowing the vast, terrifying extent of what she knew, made the ordinary seem fragile. A thin veneer over a reality far stranger and more complex than she had ever imagined. The world was no longer a solid, dependable place. It was a place of whispers, of warnings, of impossible connections. The voicemail remained on her phone, a digital scar,